What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I hope that each and every one of you all are doing beautiful in your day, that you have found a serenity, you have found a peace, you have found joy in your life, that you're able to continue on your days, your lifelong journey, and accomplishing all that you have or that life has for you. I want to say that life is too short to be controlled by others. Life is too short for people to dictate over your life. Life is too short for you to be a servant. Life is too short for you to be a slave. Life is too short for you to always bow down to somebody else. I got a topic today that I want to share just in my observation that is not just for Ghana, but all of Africa, the Black people around the world that I have seen. Before I get into it, let me give a shout out to everybody out here, because I'm going to tell you, even y'all can attest to this. When you're in the Western world and you can feel it in your spirit, you can feel it in your bones, you can feel it in your mentality, you can feel it all around you. When you submit and knowing, when you know you succumb to a master and you play the game and become less than, only for the reason of trying to survive. I've been there. So I'm not going to act like that I have not been there. I am so ashamed that I had to act like that in America. I'm about to go hard, y'all. I'm about to go hard. Because this is something that bothers me. But yet I have to come softly, because I don't want to be a hypocrite when I know sometimes when your life is predicated upon other people's control that can snatch the rug from underneath you, that you will lose everything, that you're so afraid and you will succumb to those powers that be. And talk about we would never be a slave. I was a slave for 20 years in America and didn't even know it. I'm about to give a shout out to people, but I'm giving my prelude, if you would call it that. Something that happened to me today that pissed me off so bad that I gotta share it. Nothing that has to do with Ghana, but has everything to do with us. Because I understand that we were colonized, we were enslaved. We have been so much under control that I hope even the politicians in Africa will realize they're nothing but puppets. And we are too. Playing a game in order to be safe, to secure our future, secure our jobs, our houses, our family, our food on our table, that we will act like a freaking slave. Come hear me, y'all. Come hear me, because I'm about to lay it out. But I got to give a shout out to y'all. But before I give the shout out to y'all, I got to let this little prelude, this prelude, whatever you want to call it, in the language that I was taught, I want each and every one of us today to really do some soul searching, how you act and perform when white people are around, when Europeans are around, when other people, foreigners are around, when you have to put a show. I'm just being real. Let's just be real, because nobody else gonna tell you. I was in the game. I was in America. I got nothing to lose now, so I'm all about being open and wise, because of the fact that when I was young and dumb, I didn't even understand the fact how I was a puppet portraying on a string to be something that I wasn't. But I gotta let you know. But before then, I'm gonna give a shout out to y'all. But first, I gotta lay out this prelude, this forefront, this so-called forbearance, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know the names, whatever, but I'm about to lay something out to y'all that's going to free you all to look at. But I can't blame anybody for what you do while you're in a situation trying to survive, because you found yourself in situations that you are under control, and you will laugh in the meetings. You're at shit that don't even, it's funny. You will amen something and shake your head like you a daggone, yes, a slave, because you don't know no better. I understand it. So I'm not coming down on you. That was me. That was me. But I want to lay out to y'all that, can you consider for one moment, how do you act? because it pisses me off. First and foremost, I acted that way. 20 years of listening to some silly ass people who had control over me, that I was up here shaking my head. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Whatever. Amen. Yeah. Salute you, sir. All that right there for 20 freaking years. And it took me some years to get over that. But I had to realize I was conditioned by a society that brought me in to behave that way. Because I'm about to share with y'all what I experienced today in Ghana in a restaurant. And while white folk came up to Africans and they had to do and perform and ignored me, and they interrupted my conversation, and I was about to go off, but they ran off to them, and I just talked to them on the side and said, brother, don't you ever allow such things to happen. I had to correct one and said, hey, look, I'm talking. Sometimes we got to put the foot down. Sometimes we got to let them know you don't run shit up in here. Now, I'm not a YouTuber that's going to sit here and talk shit on a YouTube and don't do shit in the street. Look at my videos. I got 2 instances where I corrected them jokers. I'm not saying I hate white people. No, I got love for everybody, for who got love for me, who can respect me. But I wind up finding myself into this place. I thought it was owned by Ghanaian. I got there, ordered my food, all Ghanaians there. It was a beautiful, tall hotel place in the vicinity of all the of African Ghanaians in the neighborhood where I'm, and it never crossed my mind that, okay, who might own this, until I ordered some food. And then I went to the bar, got me a drink. Yeah, I drank on a little sip. But I asked a question when the young lady came up and said they didn't have the food that I ordered, and they had something different for me. And I said, excuse me. Okay, let's go with the other one. Can I ask you a question? Who owns this place? I do that in America. Hold on, who owns this place? Because if you're going to have a menu, got doggone it, I want you to have everything on it. And I crossed every last person. I don't care if you black, white, Chinese, whatever. I'm going to ask the question to the manager, the owner. Why do you run short of something that you advertise, and you're going to go ahead and make it seem like you got this long laundry of a menu, and yet you don't have it on? I will question and I will confront anyone, because I'm a man, not a boy. I don't give a damn. I did it in my military career. It almost cost me my career. Twice they wanted to kick me out of the military. But I did do that. Yes, sir. No, sir. All set. 3 bagfuls. Salute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In other words, when I'm saying that, sometimes we bite our tongue because we want to hold our job. Sometimes, even though we think differently, we will silent ourselves, and we would go ahead along with the program and not even go and say, this is what I see. This is how I see it to be. Don't we see that every day on TV? Let's talk about the newscasters, the sports commentators who ridicule each other, black folk, and they won't even come down on the white folk. They will go ahead and talk negative about a black player, but they won't don't say nothing about a white player. How is it that when you see on the news that it's always about black people, negativity, crime infested, but they don't talk about little, I ain't gonna say they don't, but little white crime? See, that is the lie that y'all don't understand. See, I'm 55 years old. I understand the game. Do you understand where the saying little white lie came from? See, what they do is only little, but when we do something, it's big. That's why the criminal system, the judicial system, will go ahead and give us twice the amount of time for a same crime that was committed, that when a white person does it, it was just a little white lie. But when we do it, oh, hell broke open and shit, the world is about to end. This nigga's going to prison. I hear you, young Luo. I know. Because we just saw it with Will Smith. Will Smith would have never slapped a white man on goddamn TV. But see, they want to portray brother against brother, black crime against brothers and all that right there. He would have never slapped a white man on TV. Now, I'm going to say this right here. He did slap a white man on TV when the white man tried to kiss him and all that. He was over in Europe somewhere and yo, what's up with you, man? Get off of me. He did do that. We're talking about in the aggression of a backhand bow and yell and scream. Let's check ourselves today, family. This is what I want to do. If we can check ourselves today, maybe we will become a stronger people because we hate so much on each other that we're such a weak, spineless, jelly-backed, limp-wristed people that we can't stand up against those who are against us. Now, I'm not saying that every person that is not black is against us, but I'm talking about a systematic and also a people who are just obnoxious, those who think they are deserving a white supremacist privilege that they feel they deserve, that we cower down, that we lay low, that we will bow over, we will bend over backwards for people who don't give a about us, so that then we walk home weaker than we were, but give our household hell because of the frustration and the stress on a job that they always put us through, and we come home and we bark and yell at our own loved ones. I'm coming at y'all because I want you to do a self-assessment to see if you perform this way. Now, I ain't saying you got to go to your job and tear down the walls and play pro-black in the whole your job industry. Not at all. I'm not trying to turn Africa upside down when sometimes you working for foreigners and all right there. All I'm saying is, do you have self-respect to tell somebody, hold 1 second, do you not see me talking to this brother and I will get to you when I will get to you? Can you not tell somebody that I don't see it that way? Can you not laugh when some bogus old sorry ass joke is told and you sit there and you know it ain't funny? Do we have to amen everything that they say to get along with the program? Or can we stand with dignity and say, hey, I stand in this other place? But I get it though, because when you at a disadvantage and you are dependent on people that has control of your every life, you are now in a submissive state of doing everything they tell you. And guess what? If you listen to the YouTube, you will hear, hey, the music industry, the rappers already told you they giving up booty to make it big. The women are going underneath desks to go ahead and get you know what I'm saying? And there are people out there give their souls to the devil to be where they want to be. I'm going to tell you this right here. I ain't never get my soul, and I ain't never went over a desk, and I ain't never bent over for anybody when it came to where I stood. But again, for you to understand why I'm saying this, I have been in situations where I did laugh at bullshit jokes. I did shake my head to shit I disagree with to get along with the I'm gonna be transparent, real. I ain't gonna act like I'm like hardcore Pan-African all my life since I came out of my mother's womb. I'm not. I'm gonna be real. But can we at least have the conversations with ourselves and be real? Because when you become real and you open up, then it's gonna push you to places that you need to be. Because it's gonna push you into a mindset to go ahead and bring up plans to get out of the situation you're in when you know it stirs you the wrong way. You see, most of Black people, like they want to say when COVID was there, is that COVID affects a lot of Black people. But we already know why Black people have high blood pressure, diabetes, and have some other things that lead us heart disease and all these other things. And now we are mental disturbance and all that right there because we freaking got to deal in a system that has always been for against us, and we had to perform for them. How stressful is that shit? Do you know how much weight I had to carry? And people want to talk about go Black, you got retirement, you still under the I earned that shit. Yeah, I didn't know as a young 17-year-old coming in and realizing the fact that I was defending a people whose only agenda was for me to go fight, to go ahead and serve them and protect their wealth. You think I knew that crap? No. I saw my dad did 22 years in the military, and that's all he knew. He went in 1961. I was so proud of my dad. I followed his footsteps, but he didn't even know. He didn't become aware. And I became aware later on in my career, almost close to 20 years. And I sit here tonight talking to a brother and this European who was a German come over and put a demand on the waiter, and he totally ignored me. He didn't even say one moment, but when he ran to him, he came back and I said, "Is he the owner?" He said, "No, that's the owner's brother." Oh. Now, do you know what I said to the brother? Because, I don't want to get in nobody's lifestyle. I ain't gonna mess up nobody's lifestyle. I right there. Not at all. No. Because I understand how can I perform like that back in the day and yet be ridiculed, or I could be ridicule somebody else or be fake and act like I never did. But I told the brother this. Because when that dude came over and he said to him, the brother did this to the sister. And then the dude said something else to him. And he turns him around to the other ones did. And I told that brother tonight, I said, don't ever snap your finger at a brother or sister. We ain't dogs. Don't you ever belittle your brothers and sisters. And if somebody come over and we was in conversation, you can politely say to that dude, that European, that white guy, one moment, please. But to snap your fingers at your own people like they're dogs. I hope that the Africans and the Blacks around this world would see this, because we have been cowardly behaving in a fashion that we hate each other because we are like the servants and the masters that we are allegiant to. Snapping your fingers, that pissed me off more than anything. But I didn't want to jeopardize his job. That's his livelihood. And only thing I could tell the brother tonight was, don't you ever snap your fingers. They got a name. If you have to perform that way, okay. And I sat down, I said, what is your plan to get out of this bullshit? What is your plan? How long are you going to go through something that you already know you don't even like? You know what's so funny, family? It didn't end there. It did not end there. Because when I finished with him and just shared with him in a love and tell him, don't you ever, brother, don't ever snap your fingers at your own brothers and sisters. For we're not dogs. We respect each other. We have names. Don't you ever disregard when you doing business with a brother or a sister and a white person comes over and you have a disregard for us and will cower down, bend over, run to them because you feel that they're going to leave you a better tip. They're going to treat you better, give you an opportunity to go to Europe. If that's where you want to sell your soul, brothers and sisters, I can't get in the way of that. You're the one who got to wake up in the morning, look yourself in the mirror, and see if you're real or are you fake. And I had to do that. And it was a very shameful thing for me to look in the mirror and I saw how I performed with these people. And it was hard for me to look at myself as a man and say that, damn, who the freak are you, man? It was one of the hardest things in my life to realize how I performed. To be a subservient, to be a servant of somebody, because all it took was a whip of a pen. That they tried twice to kick me out the military and said I wasn't deserving to be. I was not that. They said this right here. This is no lie. I will show y'all the paperwork. 2 white officers tried to put me out the military and said that I was not the so-called ideal airman for what the military wanted. And I had to fight it. And the interesting thing was, on my appeal, it was a white individual who went on and agreed with my appeal, and I was able to stay in. So I'm not saying every white person. What I'm saying is that don't you ever think one is superior than you and you're inferior. Don't ever think for one moment somebody is better than you and you're less than. You should never put yourself as a less degree than somebody else. Kill me dead to this day for what I know now. It's not just Ghana I'm talking about. This ain't just Ghana, y'all. This is us as a people around the world. I saw how we were in God doggone Dubai. I seen how we were in Turkey. I seen how we were in South America. I seen how we were in Mexico. I've been around the world, y'all, and I've seen it. And we are the worst treated people. And until you understand some of the ancient writings of where we are today, until you have a respect for the greater creator, you will always be submissive. The day I finally realized the power I had in me was when I finally stood up and said, I don't give a damn. Nobody will control me. Nobody. Kill me dead before I be a slave again. Every black person out here talking about, I ain't gonna never be no slave. Bullshit. Your ass was, as soon as they say, take the money or the job or get bounced, very few people will bounce. And all I'm saying is, if you are in that position, can you now position yourself to be able to be out of the control of another? That you can have control over your freaking life. Or will you continue? This message ain't for everybody. You may agree or disagree. I don't care. Hell, there are white people who are slaves and Orientals who are slaves. There are whoever's a slaves. There's poor people slaves, rich people slaves. There are people who submit their own moral values, their own daggone ethics to give to somebody else in order to go along with the program instead of standing for what they are. We know how the system is today. People zip their lip. What do you think about the gay community? I mean, I don't care. I mean, as long as it don't affect me. Well, what do you think about, the politicians and what they're doing this right here? I mean, they just do. See, people will zip their lips because of fear. And if you're in that position, then should you not consider position yourself to be your own boss, your own person? What use is it? What reason is it for you to live your life? And at the end of your days, you say, I never lived it the way I wanted to. I always answered to somebody else. And believe me, some of y'all answer to your family members who still control and tell you who to marry, where to go, don't move there, you should do this. See, some of us are still under the control of people and not control over our life. But this subject matter right here tonight is for every Black person who is in a situation that you already know. You have to answer to things that is out of the confines of your moral values, your work ethics, and you have been surrendering your own soul to it. I'm saying not to go ahead and do some destructive to uphill, excuse me, y'all, to uproot what your life is about. What I'm saying is you should be coming up with a plan how to get out of it. Ain't that what the slaves did who was ready and tired of freaking slavery? See, there are those who didn't mind being slaves. Massa got me a roof over my head, got me food in my stomach. I ain't going nowhere. Isn't that what the mindset and the mentality still today is? But I'm not no slave. They paid me money. But I don't care if they pay you millions. Are you still giving your butthole up? You still giving them the BJs? Are you still giving them your energy and time to where it is that you lose everything about you? Is it not? Is that freely living? My heart went out to the brother today, but I'm not done with the story because I had to go downstairs and the security just so happened. When I asked him, how you doing, brother? He said, not so good. And I said, what's not so good about it? And I'm going to share that with you in a minute. While he opening up doors. Now we know, y'all remember, come on now, y'all, who knows there in America, European, wherever, when you're working for those and you're working and you are the doorman, you got to open doors up and smile and all. That's what he was. He wasn't acting security, he was the doorman. Sitting on a stool and everybody walked in and everybody walked out, he opened the door. And I gave him a moment of my time to ask him, how you doing, brother? And not so good. What's not so good about your day, brother? I would love to hear that. And of course, he brings up, some issues of life, financial, and that he doesn't have enough money. He had went to the hospital and he didn't have enough money to pay his bill. I said, "What, a hospital? You just free." Well, I decided to go to the private hospital. I might be sounding bad for the accent of Africans, but I'm just saying this is what he said, and I'm like, "So you went to a private hospital and you can't pay the bill?" "Yes, I went to." "So why could you not pay the bill?" "It was too much for me. I mean, I had bill problems." And then, he talked about his soccer team. Let me get on that too, because this is the silly shit we are so caught up in. I got to raise my hand. I used to be in there too, y'all. I'm not the guiltless one. His football team lost today. Soccer for us who's in the Western world, over in America, it's called soccer, but it is football. I said, are you telling me you're watching a game that changes your whole life? your attitude, your mood. Are you telling me that the football has an impact on you and your life? Do you know what he said? I get to, let's go on to the next one. I think I sound like an Indian now. I can't imitate these accents. Let's move on to the next one, my brother. Well, what's the next one? It was the hospital. So you mean to tell me that you are going to a place that you can't afford the bill, which means that where you are at is not, you're not making enough money to pay for the private. Have it dawned on you that this working for this German at his place, that he's not paying you enough? That did you consider for one freaking moment you need to go on to someplace better? You see, when we're caught into serving others, in the capacity of them making millions, and you're only making, excuse me, how much do you make a month? $300? Okay, I understand that's the general pay, but yet, how much? This big place that the German owns is a 7-story. Y'all probably gonna know what I'm talking about. The Ghanaians gonna know exactly where I'm talking about. The 7-story hotel, lavish, laid out. Nothing but Africans working in there, and they paying you the minimum that you can't even afford a private health care. Didn't anything for you all who are listening dawn on you that you have not even found your self-worth, that you're willing to bow down to someone to work, that you can't even take care of the necessities of life? There again, I'm not just in your garden. That used to be my garden. But me as an elder, I got to share with you all, because it took me some years to understand the bull crap that I was doing. I did. But the thankful thing that I was doing in my military career, along the side, I had my businesses. And it was a hard day to get up in the morning to do this. Yes, sir. It was hard. When I was making more money in the barber shops and my beautician shops and my beauty supply store, it was hard for me to get up every morning to do such a thing. Why did you do it, Gold Black? Because I saw a benefit in my mindset, the retirement that would give me a residual income for the rest of my life, and that would be one that could defray the cost of life. And I'm glad I did it to one extent, because I was later on. I was at 17 years, I think, when I came up that, and to let that go, and I only had 3 years to go because I only did 20 years. It was hard. But at that time of 17 years, I was in a position of a master sergeant. I ran the show in what I did, but I still had to answer to commanders. So I'm not ridiculing anybody who's in a position of working, who are submitting themselves under to those who that they feel as though they are superior than you. And you have to go along with the program of yes, sir, no, sir, yeah, and laugh at their jokes and behave in fashions that you got to cater to them. I understand that. I'm with y'all. All I'm saying is, are you making a plan to the escape route, the Underground Railroad, setting yourself up for a business, getting your finances together so that you can make way to get north, get somewhere else out of the situation that you're in? Are you smart enough to at least show your children, be self-sufficient? Don't you ever cower down to none of them. I got 3 kids of my own who's working in the field that I can't understand why. I told them I pay them $5,000 a freaking month to come work with me. But because of the fact that I understand, my mindset was not where I'm at today when I was raising them. And they went through the whole thing that you know it is. You go to your education, you go to college, you go get your job. And they want to experience the hard work. They went to college and go out there and get a job and don't realize Daddy got it for them not to do that. And there are those like yourself, some of you all, who don't have that for your children. I'm saying, can you start today with a penny? to put it in the bank. That's all you got to, don't even touch it. And just start to add to it for the freedom of your children. If you're going to be a slave, that's okay. If you want to be a slave, but do you want your children to be a freaking slave? God forbid. For we was not put on this earth as the original people to be the so-called example for the rest of the world to follow. For you to turn around and be a submissive individual. Why in the world would you want to live a life as that? And if you have to because you got yourself entangled in the web, I get it. But would you leave it for your children to be entangled in the same web? Could you leave your children something instead of answering and being a slave to those who have been controlled all these years? That's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to convince you to quit. No job. No, I'm not saying that. No, I understand. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, but do your children have to? Can you stop buying your Gucci? Can you stop buying your Louis Vuitton? Can you stop buying your BMW and put something away for your children? Teach your children, your grandchildren, how to be self-sufficient. Speak into their lives, y'all. Are we not tired? Are we not tired of being on the bottom? Are we not? Look, I'll be a slave. I'll be a slave all day. That's what a lot of black people did. I'll be a slave all day, but I'm going to make way. See, black folks used to do that back in the day. We got into this whole thing. Now today is like, forget my kids, I got to get mine. So you see, back in the day, our grandparents, they worked in the white folks' house and cleaning the dishes and washing the cars, doing all those things. But they were sending their kids to college to get themselves out. But they didn't realize they still was putting themselves in a perpetual system to where they still had to answer. Because we didn't have the know-how of business, because business was not given to us. See, business, we did do our own business in our community. I'm talking about when the judicial system, the legal system, administrative system that was in place, that it made it harder for us, especially when God dog Martin Luther King wanted to do the civil rights movement and have segregation, remove segregation and turn around and bring us all together. It made things worse. Now, we're in a different time today, and we see us in prominent positions, and we have acquired and achieved things in societies of the European world. I get it. I understand that. But I'm saying, how many of us are giving up our moral values, our ethics, our spirituality of knowing who we are, and we are just continuing like the young man today disregarded me in our conversation to go to the man, European, and he asked him some questions, and he snapped his finger, the brother, at the employees because he was the supervisor, snapping his fingers, behaving like the Europeans did in colonization, slavery, even sometimes to this day. How is it? How is it, y'all? How can we continue? If you're not going to educate your children, then dang, when does the problem stop? When we want to march and protest, but we're not teaching our children, look, we got to stand up for ourselves, yo. We got to at least have some moral values and some ethics, some work ethics, that we're not going to bend over backwards and go ahead under the desk and give them their jobs. You know what I'm talking about, your BJs. We're not going to bend forward and give them our bodies, and we're going to stand for righteousness. We are going to stand for what is ours, and we're not going to succumb to that. When are we going to teach our children that? I mean, I'm not saying that, you go work for somebody and, they're European or Asian, whatever. They treat you with the highest, most respect and do what is yours. See, I'm not talking about that. But we go along to get along with what the rest of what they say is the world supposed to be. And it sickens me. I sit here and watch African TV and it sickens me how we try to be just like them, acting like them, music videos just like them. All of this stuff that we do. We are the original, and yet we want to act like everybody else. What's up, my brother, Happy Companion THC? If we want to follow everybody else, family, if we want to go ahead and do what they do, that's your business to go ahead and do what you do. But don't ever sit and complain why why the world is the way it is today. Why is it that we're so disrespected? We don't stand up. You know, the most craziest person to deal with is a crazy person, one who's not afraid to die. You see, when I had to realize I put my life on the line in the military and went in a war for them, I don't give a damn about my life now. Freaking come get me if you want to. Kill me if you want to. If it's I'm gonna stand for what's freaking right. I'm gonna stand for it. When I was out here standing for somebody else, what they thought was right in a war, I had scud bombs blown over my heads, dropping around me, having gas mask, put a gas mask on and the ensembles on that right there. For them, did I find out it was all for their oil? When I was over there in Saudi Arabia fighting the Kuwaiti war, you mean to tell me I was fighting for them and I come back home just like our brothers came from Vietnam and still was called nigga? Still disrespected? Shout out to Muhammad Ali who gave up his belt and said, screw all of y'all. I don't care nothing about this god doggone boxing belt. For I stand for Allah. That's who he worshiped, and I respect him for that because of the fact that he had a moral compass. He had a respect and honor to one that he chose to be his almighty creator, that he was not going to surrender. I'm not going to fight in the white man's war, he said. I'm going to stand for what's right. That's a white man against the Oriental man. I ain't got nothing to the black man to do with that and whatever. And they took his belt. And thanks to the Nation of Islam, that they taught him about that. Because Cassius Clay, I believe, would have went to war. But he had got the teachings. He understood. No. Oh, no. This ain't my war. This ain't my war. But there again, we do things as ignorance or we don't not educated. I was in the military 20 years. I didn't understand what it was. I followed my dad's footsteps and all. So, I mean, hey, but I woke up one day and realized what the freak am I doing? Africa, Blacks, African Americans, and Canadians, and Europeans, African and Australians, and all of our people around this globe. When we stand up and say no more and not afraid to die for a cause for our children, is when we will get the respect that is due. Until then, we'll always be trampled over. We'll always be disregarded. We'll always be disrespected. We will always be looked upon as something less. And the sad part about it is there are those who are melanated, who still hasn't got the epiphany, the light bulb goes off, the truth that we are a peculiar people, that we are a righteous people, that we can stand alone if so need be. For we can be friends, others, but never will lose our identity in who we are. Because the day that we have done that is those who perpetuate the issues of what we deal with when it comes to taking advantage of our own. Like I said earlier, Will Smith would have never slapped a white man on the daggone Oscar Awards. I don't believe he slapped Chris Rock either. It was all a gimmick. But I'm saying, having that message out there that we are continuously fighting and warring against each other, and the youth sees that, is a shame. You see, when I had beef with somebody on my YouTube channel and my brother came at me because I was wrong, I apologized to the brother because I wanted to show the people I'm not going to show like my strength, like I got to go against you and you feel a certain way and you say something about me that I'm going to go ahead and try to dog you in the eyes of public. No, I'm past that phase of life. I'm an elder now. I'm going to show you love and I'm going to admit I was wrong. And where you see that I was wrong, we got to get past this macho crap trying to dog each other as brothers. Because I don't see it on the YouTubes. I don't see it on the other social medias when Kens and Karens stop us from entering our neighborhoods, entering our houses, our business, doing our business, and they get in our ways. We cower down and say, sir, ma'am, please move out the way. And we want to put our cameras on. Y'all, I videotaped when I had an encounter and fussed that daggone white woman. I looked through my videos. Looked at my videos when I had a white woman who sit there and tried to get me to, she was a journalist, tried to get me to do an interview and want to try to go ahead and please me with a cup of coffee to interview me. Are you serious? Do you mean to tell me you think I'm that stupid? You see, Africans, our brothers and sisters, need to wake up and stop taking crumbs by these people coming into the continent and paying you little pennies for the work they're making money off of, and then you thinking you got something instead of telling them the price you want. Because when I questioned the woman, she sat there when I said, hold up, nah, your company will pay me for this. Well, let me go ahead and talk to them about, what they would pay you for this and that. You see, when you know who you are, when you know your worth, you don't take no crumbs. It's one thing I love about Africa. They show you don't have to really work for anybody. So many entrepreneurs out here, small businesses doing their own thing. They ain't working for their own government, let alone there's countries that have little jobs for them. You better get out here and figure it out and work it for yourself. And many of them are doing it. That is freedom. You think America, we know how to do it? No, we don't know how to do that. No, we were taught to go work for somebody. Sad to say that there are African countries, and most African countries are trying to raise the bar, trying to get into this whole thing of society building and developments and stuff, and then bringing people out of the daggone villages and countrysides to come work. But they don't see what the downside of that is when you work for other people. Businesses, mergers, they downsize, cause joblessness. People fire you. You got to stay competitive. You got to stay up on the education. There's young ones always going to remove out the older ones. You're obsolete. You're not even if you become 40 years old now today, you're considered like you're ancient. And they say you're supposed to work till you're 65 to at least get retirement. People today are realizing you can't even make it with a job today, make it to 65, because they are always looking for the young ones now. What do you do when your whole life you've been told to work for somebody? We don't even know how to make a freaking little garden. We don't know how to put a seed in the ground to grow your own food. We don't know how to even start a little YouTube channel that I've been screaming that all of y'all need to go ahead and at least do that, or start a home business. Bake some cakes, make some other residual income, something that could defray the cost, that you have the power in your hands to make a little money that you may not know might turn into big money, but you never tried. Why? Because we are dependent. I raised my hand. I used to be dependent. But the day I woke up when I saw that the military was downsizing, I had to ask the serious question, what the freak am I going to do? Because at that time I was in administration early on in my career. I could, what I'm gonna do? Go out in the military, out on the civilian side, get out of the military, and what? Become a freaking secretary? That was not a man's job back then. Typing on the typewriter and doing all this stuff right there. That was a woman's job. I did that for my first 7 years of the military. Then it was involved into computers. Then I got into intelligence, all that right there. Different jobs I did, but I still was answering. Ripped and robbed of a promotion I knew I deserved. I was primed for it. And one white officer, I'm saying white because of the fact that he had a vendetta, not only against me, but in the military, because they was kicking him out. His pen wrote on my eval, I was excellent instead of outstanding. One mark destroyed me. And I could have recovered from that and got a promotion if I stayed longer. My goal was always 20. I can't do no more, but 20 years. I was ready for my senior master sergeant promotion, had everything done. And it took one individual to write on my evaluation. I would have had to wait 3 more years, and I wasn't going to give Uncle Sam no more. I woke up at my 17th year. I knew I was a slave. I couldn't give them no more. I just had to get to the 20-year mark. That's what I'm saying. I understand. Some of y'all are like, I got 6 years to retire. I got this right. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, can you at least be honest with yourself and check your own self when you are cowardly down, laughing at these bullshit jokes, amening shit that they say, and not becoming really who you are? Or can you stand ground and not fool yourself into believing they're superior? I've said this one, twice, 3 times, 1,000 times. The job never gives you the opportunity. They're inviting your opportunity. You are the opportunity. They need you. You don't need them. And when you realize that, that's when you become a powerful house. In that right there, I'll answer some questions. I'm gonna bring in some calls. Somebody can relate to this, what I'm saying. I know somebody got something to say. And please share with us your experience. Don't be afraid to say you was in that moment. Don't be afraid to say that I'm in that right now. And you know what? I realize and it's hard for me to deal with the situation I'm in. You know what? Ask me the question. I'm a man of ideas. I'm going to tell you this right here. I told a guy today, I realized what I was brought into this world for. I ain't the most sharpest tool in the daggone drawer, the sharpest knife in the drawer. I was brought in this world with ideas. I got ideas that will blossom. I'm gonna tell you, I told some of y'all who's been watching, my daughter called me up and said, Daddy, everything, me and my other sister, my other daughter, we were talking, and everything you've done, you've always been successful, Daddy. I have ideas. And my ideas, too much for me to do for myself. And every time I share it with somebody else, they just ain't got the tenacity. They don't have the endurance. They don't have the go ahead. They don't have the discipline to go and do it. But I can just lay it on the ground. That's why I tell people, hey, reach out to me. You got too many questions, I'm going to hit you with a consultation. And sometimes a consultation is worth the while, because sometimes people just waste your time. And there's not no money trying to get money out of you. I don't need no more money. People's always told me, you're the first person I ever heard say you don't need no more money. I don't. I'm good. Believe me, I'm good. But the interesting thing about it is that everything I'm involved with, the money keeps coming. I'm gonna bring y'all in right here. Let me go ahead and bring this in. I want to, for those who's feeling and vibing what I'm saying, I want y'all to come in and share your story. I mean, we've been enslaved too much, y'all. What I experienced tonight here, tonight was just the chat. The link is in the chat. But what I experienced tonight, I just could not hold back, and I said I'm gonna share my experiences each night. What's going on with me, what I feel, what I see, what I'm observing. And this is not ridiculing, bad bashing, or anybody. I'm just doing this to wake us up. I ain't got time to be up here trying to hate on nobody. Hell, I ain't no teenager. I made mine. What I'm trying to hate on somebody for? I've done mine, and I'm still doing. Somebody call in. Let me know what you think on this subject matter right here. Should we be cowering down to other foreigners? I mean, like, when are we going to start being a people feeling superior for ourselves? I mean, come on, y'all. Cuddy Cuz. Oh my God. I got Cuddy Cuz in the house. What's up, Cuddy Cuz?
Man, big salute, Bill, bro. Big
What's
salute, man.
happening, man?
Man, hey, you on fire right now, boy. I had to tap
Come on.
in. I had
Huh?
to tap in.
Man, what you up to, man? I've never reached out. Y'all don't know Cuddy Cuz, man. Yo, that brother right there, man. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right there. Hey, he been with my man, right? You know, the bigger figure,
Yeah.
the bigger figure, and
Bro.
in Africa, then all that things right there. Where you at now, brother?
Man, I had to come back and upgrade real quick. I'm gonna be right behind you. I'm coming right back.
That's all right. You got to do what you got to do.
Yep. So
Cuddy Cuz,
I'm
yeah.
in Charlotte, North Carolina right now, and everything you saying, bro, you hitting it right on the head, bro.
Appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. I
Man,
appreciate that.
I just
Yeah,
had to go in and give you a salute. I feel the fire right now. I feel where you going with it, man. Keep going, bro. Cause this is what Africa need: black empowerment,
yeah, yeah,
and you want
yeah,
it. You want it,
yeah.
bro.
Man, I see you every now and then, man. When you out there, ATM, I saw you on his platform, and then every now I chime in every now and then. You know, I chime in still JT. You know, the big figure. You know, hey, it's all about love, man. And I'm watching what our brothers and sisters are doing, man. It's all positivity, man, and that's what y'all doing, man. And man, I'm surprised, man. I feel honored that you even came in tonight, man, because man, what you've been doing, man, holding it down and doing things.
Big bro, to be honest, man, you my motivation. You, big
You
bro,
too. You
Tag
mine
family,
too.
look, everybody that's a part of this divine unity, man, y'all my
Yeah,
motivation.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
we a part of something big right now. I don't even know what to call it, but we a
Yeah.
part of something real big, and I see
Yeah.
it. I don't know what
Yeah.
to call it yet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
We are, man. We are. And we are on it and we're in tune. And a lot of people are waking up, man. And we're realizing, man. Let me ask you, man, because and I don't know if you're busy or not, man, but you know, you was there in Burkina Faso, you was
Yes, sir.
there in Kenya. How
Yes,
was
sir.
it? Share to the people, man, because you was in the motherland, man. Share with the
Oh,
people, man, your
man.
experience.
It was like being around your family members from the country.
Yeah.
Only difference is you can't really like in Burkina they speak French
Yeah, I
more,
know. Yeah.
but it was like by us having that melanated in us, we was vibing. It was
Right.
like the body language played a big part. Just us vibing as a people. We
Yeah.
was communicating still, and
Yeah.
then a little bit of French and a little bit English take you a long way.
It do. It do. It do. You ain't got to know the language. When that vibe, man, and you know, man, that look, man, and you give a up and they give you that nod and you know, like we family, yo.
That the dap is international.
It
I say,
is,
man,
man.
y'all dap over here too. But why we thought we only do this in America?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't even know, man. You remember, man, the snap it up? I can't even do it nowadays.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
back in the days, Senegal, they do that. In
yeah.
Senegal, they
And
do that.
Burkina
I'm like,
Faso too. Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate, man, Cuddy Cuz. Hey, y'all check out Cuddy Cuz, man. His channel. Because man, yo, he came to Africa, man. I watched him and JT, the bigger figure, man, and them brothers, man, have exposed a lot of things in countries that we haven't been. Burkina Faso. I was like, what? You know, and then going to Kenya and doing things, man. Hey, check my brother out right here, Cuddy Cuz, man. Is that your channel, man? Name Cuddy Cuz?
Yeah. That's my channel right there.
Yeah. What other? You got Instagram as what? It's a different name, ain't it?
It's at Cuz Cuddy on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. At Cuz Cuddy. So y'all see it on his name right there. Man, I'm honored, man. You came on, brother. It's good to see you, man. My first time talking to you because when I went to go visit JT in Kenya, man. You weren't there yet, and
Yeah,
me and him, man, we had a good time there, man, doing an interview together. But Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Man, appreciate that, big bro. Big salute to you, big bro, and keep going and we right here with you, big bro. We right here
Much
with
love, man. Much love. Peace and blessings, brother.
you. Much love. Mm.
All right. And we got Odingas here. Odingas.
Yo, bros. How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. What you think about what I was saying tonight, man? Can we overcome this, man? I mean, this submissive servant state, man, that it just rocked me to the core tonight, man. I mean, I don't know if you listened to the whole thing tonight, but what's your thoughts?
First of all, Go Black. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you
Yeah.
for your understanding. Thank you for your service. Thank you for shedding light where we have never seen before. Well, most of us. Um, I lived in Nigeria for 14 years.
Okay.
Okay. I was born in Washington, D.C. I
Okay.
lived in Nigeria for 14 years. So my 14 years there, unfortunately, I didn't learn much history until when I came back here and was forced to learn things that I should have learned there. Long story short, when I saw you traveling across Africa back in 2000 and was it 2019 you went back there? I think yeah, 2019,
Yeah.
2020, 2021, and I was like, man, this brother here is exposing us the things that we are taking for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, I mean, I've watched you day in, day out. I've seen places you've been. And this topic today is a conviction that if we don't get our, stuff together, we are going to continue to serve, whether people want to call him the white man or the Caucasian man or the Asian man or the Indian man. We got to get our acts together, and I think you just hit it on the you just hit this one on the nail. That's all I have to say. I will wait for other people to speak.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate your kind words, man. And it just rubbed me the wrong way, man, tonight, man. And I'm like, I'm gonna get emotional. I'm gonna go hard. I'm gonna use some slang, some curse words, because man, I gotta wake our people up, man. That was disgusting what I saw tonight, and I was like, I've seen it times and time again, and this right here just hit me, man. Like, I'm gonna let people. I said I'm gonna let people know the good, the bad, and the difference in my travels. This has nothing to do with Ghanaians. This has everything to do with us as a Black, melanated African people. We need to stop doing this crap. Let me pass the mic over to Experience Liberia. What's happening, my brother? Good to see you again.
Hey, how you doing, man? I thank you for having me on your show. Boy, you
Yeah.
on fire tonight. You hotter than fish grease. You cooking them. You cooking them, but we need to hear this. Brother, what you said is absolutely true, and we suffer from that. Man, we've been in our mindset has been in this toxic environment and relationship with how we get treated that we don't even see our way out but doing this type of stuff. Like, I'll give you an example. I was in Liberia and I was buying rice for the shop, man. And so you had to go there. The Lebanese got the market on lock. So I go in there to purchase my rice and everything. This brother come in, black brother come in, he speaks to everybody and everything. So he goes to the desk, the man give him an attitude, and you know how we are. I'm like, where we do that at? It doesn't cost anything to treat people how you're supposed to be treated. If you want to be treated right, treat people the same. It doesn't cost you anything. That person is not going home with you. You're not eating anything that you're cooking. And I say this all the time. What you eat don't make me shit. I'm sorry. So all you got to do is, hey, you say hello, and that's it. You're doing a service. You're selling a business. So I go in there and I see how the brother's being treated, and I go in there, pay for my rice and everything. The Lebanese guy throws the money at this guy. So I'm looking, I'm like, where we do this at? So I'm pissed. I'm pissed now. So I already know. Okay, so he ain't gonna say nothing, but I'm gonna say something. So I threw my money at him.
Yeah.
If you good enough to throw it at him, so I threw it at him. What you do that for? I said, well, you just threw it at him. I thought that was the norm. I thought that's
Yeah.
all she did. So I thought that was the norm.
Yeah.
So no, that's my friend. I said, well, I hate to see if he your enemy. I said, you
Yeah.
don't do that. You don't do that. So they have, man, I was checking them. My wife said, you can't do that. I was like, no, the problem is a lot of people don't stand up for themselves. And as long as you continue to allow that type of treatment, it's going to happen. And they're going to feel that they can do it to everybody else. See, when you don't say nothing, your silence, it says, okay, you can treat me like that. I said, no, it's not that type of party over here. You're going to treat me with respect. I'm going to treat you with respect. That's it.
Silence.
In the military.
Silence promotes violence.
Yeah.
That's what happens, man.
It was the same way in the military, man. It's like, you know, I that's why I tell my young soldiers, get in your Army regulations and do your job to perfection, the best that you can. So when they come for you, there's nothing they can say because I do my job and I know the Army regulations. And this is what it states, then this is what it states. You're not going to get me to dance and be part of a clique and all that type of stuff. See, that's why I didn't go that far, man. I wasn't part of that clicky type stuff.
Right.
No, if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yep.
And you know, we got all walks of life that comes in that be under your leadership and command. I never had one thing said about me, despite what I thought about a certain individual or how they act and how they behave. I still treated that soldier with the utmost respect and with dignity because I want to be treated that way. Like I said, man, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And we have to recognize this stuff, man. They put their pants on just like you do.
Yep.
And then if you really want to go deeper, they wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for us. We give you life. And this is what we got to think as Black people. We give them life. If we stop giving and paying for their stuff and we support our own, they'll go broke. Look at the bus boycott. How we hit them in their pocket. We got to do some, snap. And this all it takes. Why you want to give your money to somebody that don't want you around? They don't want you in their circle. You got all the power.
Or work for somebody who don't. You know, that's why I was saying it's like, I know I don't want to run on nobody's parade for them working at places. And yet, you know, like the young man tonight, you know, he endured this white supremacist joker walking over, interrupting me in his conversation and then telling him something, but the brother turned around snapping his fingers and you want to go ahead and perform for him in the way that he would treat you for your people to appease him. And I'm like, when are we going to stop selling ourselves out? When are we going to stop going and degrading and disrespecting ourselves and going and performing and appeasing them, and they always going to be the ones on top? We have to check ourselves. That's why I said, brother, and I appreciate, man, what you're saying, Experience Liberia, is the fact that, you know, while you was in the military, you knew, hey, I'm going to come and do the best I can at this job and in the confines that are presented to me within the policies and the procedures. They can't get me on anything else but that. And I don't have to be part of your clique. I don't have to laugh at your boring ass jokes. I don't have to shake my head when you ask me a question and I disagree with. I don't have to perform that way. What I can do is still be me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they hated that. They hated that because you're dangerous. And you trust me, brother. I know because I got a cousin that was in the Air Force, man. And it's the same just about all throughout because they don't change up their tactics. If you're not a part of that clique and you an individual and you got the mindset to change, you're dangerous to them because now you're messing up the program. We want you to be submissive and docile and just to do what we say. And half of them, if you look at it, they didn't even know their jobs. It took me a while to catch on when I was because I had a white supervisor, man, and I was doing all the work, and you know what I'm saying. And they, you know how I go. You're getting rated off of me, off my job performance, and then you're going to shortchange me. So I said, you know what? I said I got smart. I said, you know what? You tell me what to do. I said, you the supervisor, you the lead. You tell me what to do, and I execute. You tell me what you want me to do, and I execute. Then he got to looking crazy. I said, yeah. Hey, like you said, I ain't just the dullest knife in the drawer, but hey, you know, I ain't the sharpest knife, but I ain't the dullest. I'm right there, and I catch on. When I got it, I got it.
Yeah. Hold that mic real quick. I'm gonna pass it on. You hold your mic. I'm gonna pass this mic over here. TT Mello, what's happening?
Good evening. Go Black.
Good
Wow,
evening. How are you?
this is the most happiest moment of my life because I've been trying to reach you many times to see if it's to go live with you one on one for me to at least, because I'm from Africa, even though I'm right now in America. I'm from Africa, so
What
I
country are you
always
from?
love. Yeah, go ahead.
What country are you from?
Cameroon, Cameroon.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
the area that they
it
say
is.
I'm from.
Yeah, Cameroon, which is there's a genocide going on there right now as we speak. Genocide, almost since 2016 up to.
Yeah. So what you got for us tonight? Let's go to the topic I was talking about. What you got to say? Then we lost. I think you muted yourself.
No, I did not press anything. Yeah,
Okay, there you go.
when you silence in the midst of evil, meaning you are a partaker. Uh, that's what's going on among us black people. We are our own enemies. For example, like in Africa, many of our people prefer to go and die in the Mediterranean Sea. They prefer to go and die in the jungle. While the puppets in Africa are selling the continent to the Chinese, selling it to whosoever is the highest bidder. And all of us keep quiet like the younger generation. It will come a time in our life, none of us will be able to point Africa that is my home because it has been sold out. We Africans need to rise. We black people, not just Africa. We black people need to rise up against this. You have about 54 countries in Africa, if I'm not making a mistake. 55 puppets, 1 billion people. Let that make sense to us. Will allow our continent being sold by 54 individuals. They gather themselves, they see the African Union, and they are doing nothing. Look like what is going on in Ukraine. Just recently, look at the way the Western world behaves. Look at what has been going on in Southern Cameroon for 5 years. But you have not seen this type of outrage on social media. African Union is even there, that is even happening in Africa. They cannot talk because of France. France has covered all of their mouths.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. The worst thing is that why is this happening? Because of the colonial demarcations I've done in Africa. It cannot be happening to your neighbor and the next person says something about it. Everybody is quiet because they say that is not my country. We cannot grow like this. We cannot grow like this. Like when I saw what you're doing, my brother Black, Go Black, I really like it because you're trying to shine the light that this is Africa. Nothing is wrong here. There's no mosquitoes like what people are saying. It is not like one giraffe to another elephant. Africa is a little bit developed. Like our brothers here in America, the little money you are making, the Caucasians cannot give you the land to build here. Take that money, is plenty of money if you take it to Africa. You buy yourself a land, build your house. Even if you get married to a Black American girl or African girl, connect your children and your wife back in Africa. They should be going to that house to visit because that is your house. When you die, they should go and bury you there in Africa. That is the light you have been shining. I wish I like it so much. But this is another thing. We need to call our brothers in Nigeria out, or our youth in Nigeria, because they keep copying all the crap in Hollywood here in America. They keep want to compete with Black America. They don't know what goes behind the dark.
That's not just Nigeria. I see that around the world. Everybody's trying to copycat America. Everybody.
Yeah, like in Africa, which we're supposed to uphold tradition. We're supposed to uphold our customs because those are the things that will attract our brothers that long time left the continent, our brothers in America, to come back home because they will admire those traditions. If Black America look back and see that Africans are even, look at their music, look at the way they behave on social media, look at them on Instagram, look at their women. It's not different from what we are seeing here in America. That will not attract them to come back home. We are still living from frying pan to fire. Please, we need to change our. I'm also a youth, about 30 years old. Like people said, we should blame it on slavery and colonialism. How am I thinking? How is God black thinking? How are you thinking? How did you emancipate yourself? We came out from the same struggle. People should not go and be blaming it already in the past. We already knew, we know what happened in the past. We must do everything to connect back that oblique codes. America, black people were here in this continent. Black people were everywhere. I will not give it away because the structure now is showing Caucasians being ahead. We will leave, we will take what is rightfully ours everywhere. But we must know that there's a modern continent. There's a modern continent, because I'm trying to be on both sides, because you have some of our brothers and sisters, our mothers here in America, they don't like to go back in Africa. No problem. But at least if you know that the environment is not conducive, they don't want to give you that environment to build. Look our people on the streets. I'm here in America and I see that I whip every day. I'm a trucker. I cannot imagine how many times I must help when I come to stop signs where they are standing there. I must help. So please, we must think for self. We must think together. Love one another. We must love one another. For example, you see, when Africans live abroad, when they go back home for visit, those back home have this jealousy and envy tendency. Sometimes they poison them through their drinks and food and kill them. Why is all that? For us to be reducing our race, reducing our population, we are not doing good for ourselves. We are instead helping our enemies.
Yeah.
We are instead helping our enemies. We have the Chinese. How many populations are there for the Chinese? The Indians. How many? They are striving because of their population. Even while I'm here in America, I got the exact amount of babies being aborted every. They are not making a mistake a day or a week. I follow Kwame Brown. I follow Angela Stanton. Those are my things I follow on social media. And they'll tell you 900 babies per day. Who is losing? Who is losing? They say when a woman gives birth to a child, that child is not hers anymore. The population of the environment will raise that child. Please give birth to these children. The environment will raise that child. We need this population. We need that population.
I hear you, and I appreciate you, and you make some definitely. I appreciate all you're saying, because valid points you're making. Just like everybody else, we have to wake up. And I think it takes one to teach one, and that's my thing. Is that I was asked today, why do I have my platform, and that is bringing awareness and education to our people around the globe. Let me pass the mic on over. I know I got Bala right here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you. Pass the mic over to Bala. What's happening?
Hey man, hey, how's it going, big bro? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
I want to greet all the special people here tonight, my brothers and sisters all around the world. First and foremost, man, I want to tell you thank you so much. Go Black. You are an African, of course. You weren't born on the continent, but it took guys like you and Dynasty.
Hold up. I was born on the continent.
Oh, forgive me. You were born in North Africa, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
exactly right. Yeah, that's how long I've been following you. You were born in North Africa, but it took guys like you, Dynasty, Philip Scott from like here in Houston to actually start going back home to kind of spark that just that sense of urgency in guys like us who actually were born on the continent, came here to the U.S. and kind of like started to think about settling down here. When I seen guys like you on the continent, that just kind of drove me to say, wow, Africa is really opening up, man. I want to thank you in a special way, brother. You've been a real great inspiration, a real good motivation. So not just myself, but a lot of us, I'm telling you, because of you, a lot of people are getting ready to like at least start looking at investing somehow in Africa. By the way, I was born in Liberia. I'm from Liberia. And in a very special way, I wanted to thank you as well, because I did an interview sometime last month, and you came and commented on the video. My YouTube channel is called Bala the Vagabond. I just started it. And I'm just doing it because, just like you're doing it because just out of passion. So I was on the continent. I was like, I might as well do a video too, drop it on YouTube. And man, when I seen your comment, a lot of people commented, but when you commented, I was like, okay, this is going somewhere. You notice that, and I'll be very happy if if the audience can really just kind of check me out on YouTube, show me some love over there, because basically for me, I'm just gonna try to do what you're doing, just go around the continent every time I have some time and just kind of just showcase the great things that are happening in Africa. Because yeah, America is a great country, don't get me wrong, but Africa is actually the future. It's actually the now. And hopefully
Now,
we can start looking into taking advantage, because Africa is like that virgin territory right now. We don't want to be the strangers later on coming back home to rent from the actual strangers. So, let's get on the continent, start investing, whether it's real estate or whatever kind of expertise or whatever you do here in the the diaspora, whether it's in the United States or China or Great Britain or wherever. Come on the continent, follow the lead of guys like Mr. Go Black to Africa. Just he's amazing. The first time I saw his video, I was like, who's this brother on the continent? I think you had like a dreadlocks or something. I was like, who is this on the continent? Just over here, just inspiring me, man. I couldn't stop watching you. I
I
subscribed to your
appreciate it.
channel. I was like, man, what can I do to reach out to him? And I was like, and I was so happy when you commented on that video, man. I felt very, very, achieved. And when it comes to the whole YouTube stuff, so I want to thank you so much, and thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for just the inspiration, the love, the power you're putting out there for our people, man. That's just so great. I just want to come out here, and I didn't watch the beginning part of the show, but I'm assuming it was about something you went to. Maybe you went to a restaurant and you saw some kind of
Yeah,
people sucking up to someone else. Yeah, I heard part of it, but that's what it is. But the more we start to come back home, those of us here in the diaspora, the more we start to come back home and open up the eyes of our people, I think all that is going to get better. Africa is where it's at. Africa is where it's at, and I'm so passionate about it, man. So I want to thank you so much, like I said, for what you do. Thank you for the inspiration. Because of you, my wife and I, my kids, we're going to make a big trip to Africa this year. We're just going to travel around the continent, just kind of, just kind of suck it all in and just
great,
see what we've been missing all this time. So
great.
I want to thank you so much, brother. Thank you to all my brothers out there experiencing Liberia, or Dingas, just everybody else that's viewing and just watching and showing a whole lot of love to Go Black to Africa. This man deserves to have 1 million subscribers, man. We need to actually subscribe, share his video so people can see him. You know what I mean? And the world needs to feel this, man. He's a living legend. That's how I see him. So, thank you so
I
much, brother.
appreciate that. I
Thank you.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. And you all go ahead and visit his channel too. Bala the Vagabond. Check his channel out. I mean, I go to a lot of people's channels and YouTubes and stuff. I comment on them, and it's all about motivating and encouraging each other. And it doesn't matter whether or not some person stands in the way of my perspective. It's all about hey, if it's about man building people and educating people, our people, at first and foremost, um, it's all good, and also, let me just say this too, that I was here with the question today: why do I do what I do? And that is for that is that I really want our folks, if you can make it to Africa and come with an open spirit, humble yourself and just be the watcher and just see and listen. Don't judge. I'm telling you, you're going to have a total different perspective about Africa. It's going to teach you, it's going to groom you, it's going to nourish you, it's going to heal you, it's going to build you. It's going to do that because what we've been taught in Western worlds is one way thinking. We have a one way of thinking about how life really is. When you come to Africa, it blows that out the water
Oh
because
man.
everything you thought was supposed to be a certain way, it ain't that here. Bureaucracy, red tape, and how you supposed to do something is totally different here. It's free game, open game. America says the sky's the limit. There is no limit in Africa. Why the sky's going to be the limit? It is infinite in what you want to do, how you want to do it. It is very few laws and you being the best person, reaching your full potential, your pursuit of happiness in Africa. I'm just going to say that to the day I take my last breath. I don't know how else to say it, but I appreciate my brother. He just fell off. But that is my motive, my take on that. I'm gonna put the link back in the chat. I'm gonna ask our brothers on the panel right now a couple other questions. Experience Liberia. Let me ask you a question. Being that you got more experience in Liberia, right?
Yes.
What would you say to the people out there for them to come visit Liberia? What are the things that you think that people might, those type of people, because Africa is 54 countries. And I tell people, get in where you fit in. One country might not be for you, but you might find a country that you just fit right in. What would be that thing that you think for those people that would fit in Liberia?
One is that they speak English there, and that we got a strong ties to America. Being that, when the Americans tried to come to Africa, they hit Sierra Leone, and of course they moved to Liberia, right? And this is where the foundation began with the relationship with America, with Africa. And two, that Liberia was the hub. A lot of people don't know the history of Liberia. Liberia was the mecca for a lot of people to come because it opened up doors. And that Liberia was never colonized. It was never colonized by them. But now they done took on this Western way of doing business and how things is ran. But a beautiful people. When I went there with my wife, man, because she's Liberian.
Experience Liberia. Hold one
Yeah.
second. African Tigers, I want you to come in because I want you to talk about Kenya. All right, that's my homegirl right there. Kenya, we was out today, did some interviews. She's in Ghana right now. She travels Africa. We need a female on the panel. I'm going to ask you about, we're talking about, this whole thing of the subject matter, but I think we're going to go into now the motherland. Why would you, what is so important about the motherland? Experience Liberia is talking about his country. Why would people should go to Liberia? I want you, African Tigers, come in. The link is in the chat right now and talk about Kenya, why people should go to Kenya. Continue on, my brother. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Experience Liberia.
Well, I'm African American, you know what I'm saying? So my wife is Liberian. That's how I got connected to Liberia. So when I went there, man, I was just embraced with love. You know what I'm saying? It was never, you hear all of these stories about what to expect and don't go. But I never thought that way. I always thought outside the box, and I always had to see for myself what was going on. So I would tell everybody, and I was even telling my family members, like, look, it's not what you think. A lot of this stuff is propaganda. They don't want you to go. I said, when I was on the plane, it's more white people going to Africa than it is our very own. So what does that tell you? I said, what does that tell you? Because when I went, the only time I had my mask on was in the plane. And when I got off, we didn't have no mask. It wasn't that big old pandemic and everything. Not saying that it wasn't there, but the numbers didn't add up. So you have to dismiss a lot of the things that they tell you. That you have to dismiss that and understand that they will lie to you just to keep you away from experiencing freedom. I'm telling you, man, it just blew my mind to see the many the brothers and sisters that was there, to be around that and to see the billboards with our very own advertising. It's hard to see that in America. The representation of you. Yes, there's a lot of things that has to be fixed in Liberia, but hell, there's things that need to be fixed in America. You see what I'm saying? And so when I got a home there. So when I go there, it's freedom. I don't have to worry about if I miss a payment. That's mine. That's mine. I own that. I don't have to worry about being harassed. It's just a different type of peace once you get on the continent. I'm telling you, I can't even describe it. To wake up and see the sunset, to walk on the beach of the water right there. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing. And to know, and what made me so mad was I looked over there, and I don't have no problem, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you pay your money, you come, but to see them enjoying what we should be enjoying, it pissed me off. My wife was like, why? I said, man, because we've been duped, we've been bamboozled, we've been lied to, and it's not like that. It is not like that at all. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave this on this note.
Go ahead.
Look at I just want you to look at all around where you see the heavy melanation of black people. I want you to look, even in America, look who's there and look what they're going through economically. The money is going out of the community, out of the country, out of the neighborhood. This is by design. So we have to come together and tear down that fence of all this discourse and come together and bring back and get together and take control of this. If not, we're going to lose.
All right, brother. I appreciate, man, Experience Liberia. Hey, and y'all heard what he said, go check out Liberia. I was there in Liberia. Lovely people, had a good time, all that right there. Please check out Liberia. My sister's in the house right now, and we're going to go ahead to African Tigress. Hey, YouTuber out there too. Hey, hold on a second. I'm sorry, my sister. He just dropped off. But anyway, what is it that you want to share with either this topic of what I had? I don't know how long you've been listening and all that right there, but I saw you in the chat. Had to give you a shout out because you're doing some hard work promoting Africa, showing Africa, and we had this discussion today about it. What are you from Kenya? Please share what your thoughts are.
Okay, well, I just joined the stream just a few minutes ago when you saw me chatting, but one thing I must say is I like the spaces that we have right now. As much as we might not be the ones owning spaces like YouTube, the fact that it provides us a platform to connect. I mean, I knew you through YouTube. All these people on this screen right now, I've known them or I've had their, POVs. So I'm able to know what kind of people they are and what they stand for because of YouTube. So it's a great time in history because we are able to connect and we are able to get to learn and know about each other, which is very important. And also because of these platforms, we've been exposed to different people, different cultures. I've got to learn. I mean, I've met you in four countries, right? You keep following me.
She said I'm following her. Yeah.
We've met in 4 countries. We've met in 4 countries. I get to learn a lot from you. I get to learn a lot from listening to these people. So for Kenya, I know probably it's one of the most popular countries, especially when you come to East Africa. I'm a Kenyan. For those who don't know me on this platform, I'm African Tigress. I'm a creator. I create content. I've been to half of the countries in the continent. And I want to visit all of the countries. I know Nikomi is also trying to go to all the countries. And Kenya is a great place. There's lots of opportunities in Kenya. Like you just said, I think it's important that someone gets to visit different countries and then they select a country that is suitable for them. There's no country that you can say, so this country is perfect for everybody. So you have to go to each and every country. What kind of lifestyle do you want to experience? What kind of things can you forego? Are you okay with lacking electricity sometimes? Are you okay with, you want perfect electricity? You have to select some of the things because every country has its own challenges. So you have to select what can you persevere.
Yeah, you couldn't say it no better. And you're right. One thing I like about Kenya is that you can go get a job in Kenya. Most countries that I find it's difficult for people to try to find jobs coming from the Western world. But Kenya, you can go there and get a job and take care of yourself. I mean, that's one thing I like about Kenya. Yeah. So
as long as you have skills, trust me, you can always get. I've seen people who come and they get jobs because if you have the skills that are needed, you can. It's also I know people who don't even stay in Kenya, but they're running businesses, they're running Airbnbs, they're running all this kind of business. They're doing farming in Kenya, yet they don't even stay in Kenya. They're from the diaspora. So it's actually, there's lots of opportunities and possibilities also in Kenya, as long as you just get connected to the right people. That's very important because sometimes if you don't do your background checks and all that, you might land in the wrong hands, you know that.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. Appreciate you you coming in, African Tigress. You know, it's always a pleasure meeting you in these different countries. It's amazing. Yes, we've met each other in 4 different countries. That just shows how much we're traveling around and running and hitting paths. You know, thank God I ain't got no jealous wife. I won't say like, you know, but it's great though. It was great seeing you today. You know, ran into each other today. That was good. And y'all don't know, go check her channel out right there. I always tell people it's right here. You know, if you want to know more of Africa, there's many YouTubers out here. She's really credible and she goes way deeper. I give you just a taste of Africa. She's giving you a whole lot more in depth of the countries she's going to, cities and all that right there. I dip in, I dip out. She spends like a month in every country or even more, don't you? You know, so it's
Yeah,
like,
that's right. I've been in a
yeah,
month right now. I've been here for 1 month. Some countries have been there almost 2 months and all that because I always want to actually have the feel of the country, visit different cities in the country, such that I can actually see what opportunities exist in these countries, apart from just opportunities to just, you know, sometimes I feel like if you go to a country, that's why when people ask me, with what's the number of countries you've been to? I just say 20 something because for countries that I visited for 2-3 days, I don't feel like I really have a feel of what the country is. So I
yeah,
feel the more I spend time in a country, I'm able to know exactly and I can actually be able to advise a person about that particular country.
yeah. Well, that's great. So check her out. You know, there is another credible contact that if you all are interested in any countries in Africa, pick her brain and that you'll be able to find that place that might be for you. Not only just visiting, if you decided you even want to move and live, who knows? Thank you, African Tigress. I appreciate you. Let me bring
Thank
on
you
our
so
next.
much for hosting me.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. Have safe
Uh,
travels to your next country. I ain't gonna mention which one because you like to keep it a secret.
yeah, I like to keep a secret, but you're going to be in a new country from Friday. So, in case you're new, in case you don't know, in case you want to follow my adventures in the continent, yeah, go check out my YouTube channel. And from Saturday, we shall be having videos from a new country.
Y'all heard it there. Appreciate you, sister. You have a good
Uh,
one. I'm gonna
all
pass the
right,
mic
bye
over
bye.
to Mr. Melanin now. Goodbye. All right, Mr.
Bye.
Melanin.
Can I be heard?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Let me just start off by saying it's a real privilege to be here, and I've been watching you. I don't know if you're gonna mind me calling you Uncle Gold Black because you know.
Several people do. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know you're many years my senior, and you remind me of my uncle as well. And
Thank you.
I'm actually a subscriber of the lady African Tigress as well. Her videos are really cool as well.
Mhm.
The subject matter, I didn't catch the full story, but I believe I've got the gist of it, of what happened to you in Ghana. I believe you was speaking with a Ghanaian, and some white guy came along and snapped his fingers and took him away or something like that. Am I right or wrong or what?
Yeah,
Was
we
it
was in
something
a
along?
conversation, and it happened to be a German who came over, and the brother he disregarded me, went to his beckoning call, and then
Mm,
snapped his finger. The brother
wow.
snapped his finger at a couple of employees because he was the brother was the supervisor, and
Okay.
so yeah, it did not sit well with me, and so I
Yeah.
decided this is not about Ghana. This is about how we as a people at times will cower down and cater to other foreigners, and yet we can't give our own self the respect and what's
Yeah.
due when it comes to service and all that. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So let me just give you a bit of an insight to me. I mean, I'm British, as you could probably gather from my accent. Well, I was born here
So
in
you're
Britain.
African living in
Well,
Britain. You live in
well,
Britain.
yeah. I'm an African living in Britain. My parents
Yeah.
are from Jamaica by way
Okay.
of Africa, and you know the whole 9 yards of that. I mean, I like to travel in Africa as well a lot. I've just come from Gaborone, Botswana. I was also in Johannesburg. The first time I went to Africa, I went to Cairo in 2015 in Egypt. I've
Yeah.
been to Tanzania twice, and I've been to Zanzibar once, which is the same country. And
Yeah.
I've seen similar stuff as well, and it doesn't really sit well with me at all, at all, at all, at all. I mean, I tell you one story. I was in Gaborone, and the cash machine crunched my card, so I was panicking. You know, I was thinking, how am I going to get some money back? So I had to get someone to send me some money from London. So I had to wait in the queue in a post office to use the Western Union to get my money. I mean, it was so hot. I was kind of frustrated. But I saw the lady, and I've seen it twice actually. I saw the lady come out who was in control of the line. She came out and she like picked out the Asians, and you know what I mean, and made them go in front. And I thought, wow. But I thought to myself, I mean, I've heard of this stuff, but to see it, I mean, that stuff wouldn't even happen here in London. I've never experienced anything like that, not even here in London, right? So I thought to myself, wow, but what was more shocking was because these people were actually in front of me. There was a little African boy, I believe he was with his mom, but she was going and coming, and there was an Indian man behind him, and a few more people than me at the back. And then when I saw the lady come out and select him to go in, to select the Asian guy to go in front, there was no challenge from anybody. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's the part that shocked me the most. And I thought to myself, did I say something? And I know, because I'm quite emotional. I mean, I have to hold my hands up. I'll probably overreact if I was to say anything, because I believe if I'd have said anything, she probably would have made me stay till the end, until the post office closes, just because she could, you know. So yeah, I just had to take it on the chin, man. And I think ultimately what it boils down to is our people get pushed around based on their financial situation. You understand? It's like the Caucasian has instilled in us the fear, like, and I notice it in particular with Africans on the continent, especially. I've got to be honest. I notice it there more than I do here. It's like they're afraid of them based on, they think, well, you know what I mean, this person's in a superior financial position to me and he can mess up my whole situation. Whether it's true or not, that's just my perception of it, you know. And man, it was rough, man. It was rough. To be honest, it left a real bad taste in my mouth about the country. And it's like, I mean, a lot of us here in Europe and in the diaspora want to escape back to Africa. A lot of it is based on to escape from racism. But you know what I mean? The favoritism that the white people have in Africa is arguably even worse than the racism we face here, because it hurts that much more when it's happening from your own people. I know what I'm saying is probably going to rub a lot of Africans the wrong way, but it's my experience and it's my opinions, and I'm entitled to it, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I will say this, right. I appreciate you saying that, you know, and you know, I got to a place, I couldn't hold back from saying anything. If I was in that bank, I would have rocked the world with my vocabulary, as well as the vocals from within my my throat.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I want to rock them so bad to show them how wrong they are. You know, like you said, you took it on the chin. I took many years on the chin to knock some sense in me, to realize no more. I won't. Like I said, I'd rather die. I'd rather die than look myself better again in the mirror to see that I have become something submissive to another race and feel so much shame and degrade about my own self. I will never do that ever again to myself. And I will yell and scream it loud when I see the injustice. Now, tonight when I was at the restaurant, I had to be cautious, because when I speak very lightly when I see things like that happen, in a sense that it didn't affect me per se, though that he was talking to me. I didn't want to lose his job. You know what I'm saying? I did not want to cause friction for him, his job. See, because I'm gonna be gone in another week or two out of here. I gotta have respect for him. But I pulled him aside and I talked to him and said, man, don't ever snap your fingers at your brothers and sisters. Don't you ever have a disregard when you talk to me in conversation. You can tell them you're engaged. Typically, I would have shut that dude down. But I knew this guy's position, so I used my wisdom.
Yeah. That's the
Because
key word. That's the
yes,
key word, the
I had to
wisdom.
use my wisdom
Yeah.
because there
Yeah.
was another person involved in that situation.
Mm,
So
yeah.
I had to use that. But I don't, I tell you, I call it out when I'm in Africa. But I educate my brothers and sisters on their behaviors. And I'm
Yeah.
doing this too because it's not just in Africa.
Yeah.
We do that around this world and cater
It's
to
all
other
over
people
the world. And if you're a traveler, you'll know it's everywhere. It's
everywhere.
everywhere. Especially as a traveler, and it's like sometimes, like the friend I went to Johannesburg with, he was breaking it down to me that because I've got a British, I'm actually a dual national, so I've got a British and a Jamaican passport. But he's
Okay.
saying because I've got a British passport, I'm a lot more privileged than them there in Botswana or South Africa. You know what I mean? It's like if once I turn up at the border and I whip out my British passport, it's like, you know, the red carpet gets rolled out, so to speak. According to him, to
Yeah.
me, I wouldn't know that, you know. But it's good
Yeah.
to get other people's insights from around the world. But yeah, it really left a bad taste in my mouth. I really wanted to say something, but given the circumstances, I had no money. I'm
Yeah.
so far away from home. I just need to make sure I've got some money. It's so hot. You know what I mean?
Hey,
As long as
brother,
I get back,
you did what you had to do.
yeah, I had to,
And you,
you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't have had the wisdom or the composure to explain to the woman that this is not right. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I spoke to my friend about it. I said, even in England, if you was to do that to a regular British guy, he would say, no, the gentleman was in front, let him go. He would be too embarrassed to push past. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to, because here in Britain, it's like people, they how can I say? They try and put on a false image of being polite, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes any sense. Whereas in America, I've lived in America as well. I've got a lot of family in New York. I used to live in New York too. And I noticed in America, people are very direct, very rude. You know what I mean? Especially in
Yeah.
New York, compared to an average British guy who'll say, "Oh, excuse me," and you know what I mean. He'll be a lot more diplomatic. But yeah, it was a tough one, man. I was in a sticky spot, and I thought if I say anything, I'm not gonna have any money. You know what I mean? Because
Understood, man.
because she's in a position to say, you know what? Oh, so you've got talk? No, no, no. She could just pick everybody. What am I gonna do? Fight her? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. You did what
You,
you had to do, brother. You did.
yeah,
That's my message to people is at times you have to do what you got to do. You got to use wisdom. But my
yeah.
thing too is that we have to notice and take note of
Mm,
these behaviors. If we can
yeah.
just take note of it, you know, sometimes you can let something slide. Like, ain't the time right now. I'm gonna let this slide because I ain't got the time. I'm gonna go ahead and get through whatever it might be. So I
Mm,
get that. And like I said, I told people, I raised my hand. I was a slave for the military for 20 years.
mm,
I had to shake my head. So I'm not
yeah.
shaming nobody who's in
Mm,
places working for people. I had to go through the grind and I
mhm,
positioned myself to where
mm,
now I don't have to answer to nobody.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
position myself for that.
And
But I appreciate you.
that ties into what I was saying earlier. I think it's based on their financial position. They feel like they're powerless, and this is why they got this subservient mentality. That's what I believe anyway. I might be wrong, but that's what I believe it's based on.
Yeah, and I hit that point, like you said, you came in later, but I mean, I think you said you came in a little later. But
Yeah, I did.
I said earlier is that even if you are in a situation that you know that you are operating in a submissive state, that it is totally against your moral values and is against your ethics, and yet you dealing with this, at least position your children. Put some
Mm,
money aside for your children to be
mm,
workers and entrepreneurs so that they don't
yeah,
have to go through what you're going through. At
yeah,
least do that
yeah,
if you're stuck in this situation, because I understand.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I would not want to sit here and say that every black person need to go ahead and do away with working for foreigners. And no, not every
Mhm,
foreigner is you know, a prejudiced person or whatever. And majority, 99.9% of us work for foreigners or somebody. I'm
yeah.
not saying, all I'm saying is that if you are in these places when you see all these things happening, that if you see it and you know it's not right, you can always say something. And you can
Mhm.
say it in a dignified way. You can always pull somebody aside. You can always say it lightly, whatever. I'm at a place I bark now because I ain't gonna lose nothing. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
affect
Yeah.
I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lose nothing.
Mhm.
I was at a time that that I would say something in a different form or fashion, but I say things now. I could bark
Mhm.
it, but like tonight, I didn't.
Mhm.
I used wisdom because I knew I could have easily told that guy, "Hold up, he's talking to me."
Mhm. Mhm.
But something the spirit said, "Let him do what he got to do." Talk to him, and come to find out, it was the owner's brother.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, "Well, it's the owner's brother, but still brother. Let me share with something with you.
Mhm.
Don't ever do and behave the way you did, snapping
Mhm.
fingers at the other employees to appease as well as having a disregard. You could have
Mhm.
easily said to me, "Excuse me, brother, let me take care," or "Excuse me, sir, let me go ahead and let me finish right here taking care of him because I'm a
Mhm. Mhm.
customer." He should have been
Exactly.
able to understand that if the
Mhm.
brother's owner, the owners of the
Mhm.
brother, he
Mhm.
should have understood that then because I'm a paying customer.
Exactly.
So those are things that
Mhm.
I'm saying that we should do. But I appreciate that. I'm gonna bring it on to our sister that is here. I know
Thanks
you've
for
been.
having me on. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for coming on there, Mr. Melanin. All righty, Adwa, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I'm Adwa. I've
Adwa.
been watching you for yes, I've been watching you for a long, long time. But
Okay, that's nice.
today I caught your live and I was like, I have to call him. But I
Okay.
was born and raised in Ghana, Kumasi.
Yeah,
My
nice.
immediate family, like my parents and my brothers, and some of my dad's sisters, and their family just moved over here. But majority of my family members are still in Ghana. And right now, I'm working towards moving back to Ghana, because
Where is
on
here?
my
You said
family
here.
side, oh, I'm in Arizona.
Oh, you're in America, Arizona. Okay.
Yeah. So in Ghana, on my mom's side, where Asankregwa is like their little community, and my mom's dad, my grandpa, was a king over there. So I definitely want to go and develop and build a little, like, tiny home community, because I'm a public health professional,
Okay.
by education.
Yeah.
And I established a nonprofit organization 2021, so I can, move forward and do what I need to do. But I wanted to speak on how Africans or our own entities treat us compared to how they treat a pale skin, person. And
Yeah.
I comprehend that is due to the inferiority complex, or the conditioning that they've been, conditioned to believe that, someone that is pale skin is like a god to you or is superior to you. So I comprehend, because even my own family, I'm trying to let them know that, that Christianity religion, you don't want to go off of it with a belief system, but you want to understand it from, like, you want to understand the concept of the Bible, not,
Yeah.
thinking that this guy is your Lord and Savior. But we definitely have to be mindful how we correct, the blatant discrimination and prejudice and like racism that our own people give us, because even for our own safety, like your own wellness, because you don't know how is going to trigger them if they're able to take constructive criticism and receive it without lashing out at you. So
Yeah.
I definitely, listening to all the stories, I'm like, yeah, I definitely comprehend just not feeling the need to jump in and say, like this and that, this and that, because you never really know what that person is going to do, especially if they're willing to, in your face, discriminate against you, someone that looks just like them, for somebody that doesn't look like them. So we definitely have to be mindful how we go about this new like state of being amongst ourselves, just so we don't cause even more division or, separation
Yeah.
between us,
Yeah.
and give other entities the opportunity to come in, because, once they see, once other entities see that we're not united, it's very easy for them to come and say, okay, I mean, look what did you hear what she said about you, or did you hear the tone that she said that in? And if the person is not willing to comprehend your point of view, it's going to be very easy for them to be like, well, I already feel like this person is superior to me, so I'm going to listen to them regardless of what you say. So me personally, I came to Arizona at the age of 11, and the discrimination, like what I faced here, like I would not wish that on anybody. Like going to school here and being negatively targeted by other like pale skinned people and African Americans, it was very traumatizing because I didn't know, first I didn't even know that I was Black. And I come here and these people are like talking to me and treating me different, and the same people that look like me are doing the same thing. I'm just like, what? And it didn't take until I got older to where I was just like, no, I don't have to just take it. I don't have to just allow them to do whatever. I mean, I can peacefully let them know that, okay, I mean, you know, this is discrimination and prejudice, and you can, by law, if you're doing it, is obviously endangering my life, you know, you can get in trouble for it, because it's not humane to treat somebody a certain way based on what they look. Not only is it narcissism, it's just like, it's not natural. Like we're not supposed to be doing that as people, you know, or humans. So it took a long time for me to realize, okay, I don't have to just sit there and allow them to disrespect and talk down to me and belittle me and make me feel like I'm, you know, some African booty scratcher. Because I know that I'm not. And I know my worth. But the process of me learning to stand up for myself, that it took a lot of work, because I realized, just like I said, I realized if you're not careful on how you correct them, they will attack you on a whole different level, and it will be done in a very like hidden manner. So the impact that it will have on your life would be even greater than them just being racist right in front of your face. So we definitely have to be very mindful when we're going into like Africa or like different spaces, and how we correct it because of the reaction that we might get, and how it might impact us and our work and what we want to achieve in the like long run, or the overall. But I love you, and I'm working towards being part of that change within our, you know, overall community, the African community. And yeah, I love what you're doing, and
Thank you.
I just can't wait I can't wait to be a part of it.
Well, great. When's the last time you've been back to Ghana?
2015. My grandma, right after I graduate from U of A, because I went to University of Arizona, my grandma passed like 2 weeks after, so I had the opportunity to go back there, and it was a beautiful experience. I did not want to leave, obviously because of the foundation that I have there, and also I speak the language, so it was very easy for me to navigate my way around. But I felt so much at peace. I felt like it was just a different energy and feeling, that when I came
Hard to
back here, I was
describe,
just like,
isn't it?
okay, this is not it for me. I need to go
Yeah.
back.
Well, I thank you. Thank you for your words of wisdom, and I appreciate, you know, your insight on this topic, especially, you know, with your experience that you've gone through there in America, because, you know, we've been indoctrinated there in Western world America, even hating Africans. I remember back in the day, you know, there was it's ingrained in my head. Hate Japanese people because of the War of Japan. So we used to play these games of kill Japanese people. The cowboys and Indians, to hate the Indians, because, they were the enemies against America. So we were like fighting against, when we used to play as kids, who gonna be the Indians, who gonna be the Cowboys, and then it was, Tarzan, who was in Africa with little boy up there in Africa, and it was all about the shamefulness about these black people over in Africa. So America did a great job in trying to condition the minds of hating people, hating other cultures. So then that what you're describing, even what you experienced, the prejudice from black folks themselves in America, you being a young girl coming in, not knowing how to figure out, where do I fit in, and realizing they're calling you black, but yet you something different. It's moving, but we are a conditioned, broken people in these Western worlds. We really are. And that's why
And
I
the
say, go back
educational
to
system.
Africa. Yeah, go back to
The
Africa,
educational
because
system
there are
is like
some things
to
you can bring
blame.
back. Yeah,
I would
yeah,
say because they teach the daughters of like everything that's been taught within the Western world, the industrial age, and bringing in the false education about everything that's going on in the world, and making people feel like, you know this is the truth, when in reality it's not. Because I focus on the road to self mastery, and this self discovery. So I go deep into a lot of things that's happened to us as a human race, as a
yeah,
humanity, and the lies has been spread around. Because I feel like if the educational system was to have done its job in educating, the children or the public, we would not be in the situation we're in today, where the dark skinned women, or black, I would just say black. It's not even,
yeah,
we're not
yeah,
black, but like a melanated, carbonated being is treated like trash, or treated like the bottom of the barrel, when in reality they are the mothers and fathers of creation. And I feel like if that was taught, the respect and how we even treat ourselves, and how other people that lack, they have melanin but it's not as rich as ours, but those entities would not be treating us the way that they are. And some of them obviously know, but still do it because they know that the conditioning of
yeah.
our reality has been done in a way that they can know the truth, but they don't have to practice it because everybody else is practicing the lie.
That is true. I thank
Mm-hmm.
you, and I thank everybody who was on the panel tonight. It is
Mm-hmm.
2 o'clock in the morning right here in Ghana, and brother is about to turn in. And I appreciate everyone for their chiming in and their chats in the chat room.
Yay.
Thank you, my sister. I will probably be in Kumasi, I think Sunday. So shoot me an email if you got some contacts, and go back to Africa at gmail.com. Let me know if you got some contacts in Kumasi. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to say farewell to everybody, and
Okay.
everybody have a good night. I will be back tomorrow to share another day and experience in Africa, but more specifically in Ghana. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. Peace out, family. Y'all have a blessed evening, a blessed morning.